Are we live?
Yeah.
We're good?
Yeah. What?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
What are you
okay, all
waiting
right.
for?
All right, well, I couldn't, I don't know, I don't know.
Oh.
All right, welcome everybody to episode 38 of Planet Film Live. Welcome back to the Planet Film Network. As always, I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
And I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell.
Boom, boom, and welcome back. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical issues getting started today, so sorry about the. Yeah, there was no. I know there was no intro music. It's okay. It was also the old intro. Well, we will get it fixed by the next live show. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome everybody, one and all, to this episode of Planet Film Live. So how have you been doing? What's up?
Good. We've been popping off these past 3 days, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna say it again. I don't know how Picard, early reaction Picard passed Black Widow, literally in like not even. I feel like was it even 24. It was like 24 hours, I guess, maybe a little less. But
I think
that
it was
video
23 hours that it passed it.
Oh yeah, that video is at like 1.7K now. Black Widow's at 1.4, and we've gained. What were we at like last Tuesday?
Last Tuesday, I think we were at 65.
65. Wow, that's crazy growth. It's 25 subs
in 1 week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, look at those Picard numbers. Holy crap! Sorry, I just pulled it up. Woo!
So thank you if anybody's watching this like afterwards in the comments. Thank you for like subscribing and watching our content. We're still trying to push out like at least a video a day at this point. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. And then we actually have a winner for the raffle or giveaway that we started in.
Yes, we do.
In March, beginning of March, I think. In hindsight, because I closed it like the 1st or 2nd of April, and I was like, I probably should have left it open like another few days. Now, like hindsight.
Oh yeah, with all the extra, with all the new subscribers, yeah.
Yeah, but it happens. So
yeah,
you have the winner pulled up, I believe.
I do. Let's see here. Hang on. Here we go. This is a little live demonstration. I will say this is live on tape. This is a screen recording, but this was an official randomizer. There we go. So we spun the wheel, and Anita, I believe Anita Salas, I believe is the winner. So we will get in touch with you. We will let you know how best to get it to you, if we have to ship it out to your address or, whatever we have to do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for participating in the giveaway. Maybe next time, if we're doing this much growth, maybe we'll do a 200 subscriber. Yeah. I mean, literally, guys, it took us almost, not a full year, almost 1 year to get to 50 subscribers. Yeah. And that was 3 weeks ago? How many weeks? That was 3 weeks ago?
It was, yeah.
Oh my god, I can tell you right now how many weeks ago it was. Subscribers. See the count. Oh yeah, well. Not much change in the count, but hang on. I don't know how to get to it, but there's a way to look at it. Yeah, how the hell do you look at it? But how do you look at the subscriber charts? See more. Come on. Nothing. Okay, yeah, but look at that. I mean, holy crap. Right now, our top 5 videos. Let's do a little test here. Let's see how well Danielle, if you really want a Funko Pop, I can give you one. I have a couple of them. And let's see how no, but really, yeah. I'm glad that it was somebody who wasn't immediately, connected to us too, because it shows, we got a little bit of outreach at least. But no, really, if you want one or something, yeah, I have some to spare. Can you name me the top 5 videos on our channel?
Yes, I probably could. So we have Picard, not in order, right? I have to do it in order.
In order.
In order? Okay. Picard, Black Widow, Suicide Squad. What was that one? Oh my god. What's the one that's like below Suicide Squad? Oh my god. Okay, those are the only 3 I remember. I don't remember the last 2. That's the right order though, right?
Wait, what did you say, sir? You said Picard?
I said Picard, Black Widow, and Suicide Squad. And 1,
Wrong.
2, 3. Really?
I'll pull a Sal Volcano. Wrong.
Oh, okay, damn.
Picard, you're forgetting a big one. You're forgetting a huge one.
Which one?
Picard, Black Widow,
Black Widow,
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Yeah, man, Space Jam is gonna hit 1,000. I think. I think.
What's it at now? 8 something, right?
833. So
okay.
And I mean, that's been pretty consistently. It had huge legs the first day, and then it's been getting like 50 a day. So I think it still is going to get there. Space Jam, then Mortal Kombat, then In the Heights.
Oh, Mortal Kombat. Oh, In the Heights, really?
Yeah, then Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I've said this to you. I'm just completely out on the whole YouTube algorithm at this point. Because, like, we literally put out...
Hey, man, don't be out on the YouTube algorithm. It is in on us.
Is it?
Yeah.
When we put out Loki, it was literally DOA. That video was dead on arrival. You literally put it out half an hour after the trailer came out. Then you put out Picard, which in my opinion, when you put it out, I was like, what is this going to get? 10 views or something. It should pop off the most viewed video on our channel.
I will just say, too, it is our most viewed. It is our absolute, not even close, shortest video.
Right.
And this is how I recorded it. I had work at 5. I had my clothes ready to change into to go to work. It was 4:03. And I said, oh, let me bang one out right before I leave. Just throw it up there. I recorded it, and I was just like, well, that was pretty, that was a pretty good trailer. Pretty nice, everything like that. So I was just like, all right, let's throw it up. Did the thumbnail. Went to work. Got to work. Checked it again. And I messaged TJ. I said, damn. Oh, no, sorry. I didn't even go to work. I was just getting ready still, and I refreshed it. Shit was at 100 views after like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And now it is just steamrolling, man. It is just steamrolling. Because what happened was I didn't even look at the view count. I got the notification that we got a comment. And I was like, oh, a comment? I was like, the comments usually only come when we get to like the 50 or 60 views. So I was like, damn, maybe it's doing good. Maybe it's up to like 30 or something. Shit was at 100 after 10 minutes.
That's another thing we're trying to do is we're trying to respond to every single comment.
Yes, definitely.
So basically, if you ever comment something, then you should respect the response. Unless you're like a complete asshole, which, there's a few of those, but what are you going to do? It's YouTube.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to start off with a little light, what do I want to say? A little light challenge for you. And for myself, because I saw this challenge and I was just like,
the get rid of 3 or whatever, or get rid of.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So it's been making its rounds on Twitter today. So this is, you have to lose 3 forever past movies, or TV or whatever it is. Yeah. React to Lady in Heaven trailer in the chat right there.
Bruh.
React to Lady. Well, maybe we will. I don't know. Might have to see. So here we go. You have to lose 3 forever, and that is any future projects, any past projects, TV. The whole universe is gone. You cannot access it ever again. So here are your options, and I forgive me. I'm going to put it up on the screen, but it is going to be very...
I have the options in front of me, but yes, read them if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it is, you have to lose 3 forever in any future projects: Star Wars, Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Fast and Furious, Back to the Future, 007, Star Trek, Indiana Jones, and Avatar. So that was a lot of names. So for the people in the live chat right now, I'm going to throw it up on the screen so that you can kind of see what we're talking about, and I don't have to keep reading them out. For the audio listeners as well, let us know. Tweet at us. What would you guys get rid of? So TJ, do you want to go first?
I'll be honest. I thought this was keep 3 because that seems a little harder, I guess.
Yeah.
For me at least. But okay, so lose 3. So I would lose Star Trek. I would lose Lord of the Rings, and I would lose Avatar because like.
Are you like smoking crack cocaine?
What are you talking about?
You would lose Lord of the Rings, but keep Fast and Furious. You do Lord of the Rings, Fast and Furious over Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, they've expanded. They made 3 movies, 3 Hobbit movies, and then they're making a series. They're not as expansive with the universe as some of these other properties are. Am I wrong on that?
No, I don't think you're. I mean, I'm not going to say that you're wrong for thinking that.
Yeah. Because, like, Star Trek, I just have no connection to, so that was an easy one. And Avatar, I just don't care. Avatar is deeply in movies, and that's it. Like, I don't think James Cameron or, like, Fox or anybody, well, it's Disney now, so. But maybe they'll make a show or something at some point, but it's just not a universe that I'm really that interested in outside of, like, the first movie. Like, I'll see the second one and the third one, the fourth one, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not really like, oh my God, I can't wait for Avatar 2 or 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And then Lord of the Rings, I like the movies, but like I've only seen them once, and maybe like I'll watch them like another like once or twice in my lifetime. I feel like I do have to watch the extended editions. You tout the extended editions. I haven't.
Oh yeah, they're the only editions that should count. I mean, it's night and day. No, that's actually not even true. You can watch the normal versions. It's just not as good of an experience. But like the normal versions aren't like you're not even watching them if you're not watching the extended. Like I don't go that far, but the extended lends so much extra to it. It really is like a night and day difference. Check out the extended if you want to. Actually, the very first time ever, the extended edition is streaming right now on HBO Max. So go ahead and check that out.
I think I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's never ever been a streaming title before. It's always been the normal ones were on Netflix, then you had to buy the extended ones. But now, and I think only one of them, I think only Return of the King extended edition is on HBO Max.
That was the whole thing, like, when I was watching The Lord of the Rings for the first time, it was like, the extended edition's like, oh, you have to buy them. It's like, I can't just rent it? Like, what?
Yeah.
Really? It's just stupid. And as sorry, real quick, I just want to make a PSA, public service announcement. Danielle says, Fast and Furious was the first movie on his name tag, which you'll know if you listen to the Rants on Fire.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to, full disclosure, we tweeted it, and then there was a problem with the episode, so I deleted the tweet, and then we just never tweeted again until a few days later. So if you're watching this right now or afterwards or listening to it on the podcast feed, go over to the soul search icon in the right-hand corner on your podcast feed, type in Rants on Fire, and it's a little microphone with a little fire
flame
on it.
Little purple flame.
And white. Yeah, and listen to our episode right now. It's about an hour, 40 minutes. And then check out all the other episodes. It's my girlfriend Danielle and her friend Emily. They do the podcast, and they rant about anything and everything. They have some really funny episodes. Ours is definitely the longest, so if you don't want to listen to us talk about movies and entertainment for a good hour, 40 minutes, I definitely recommend listening to some of the other episodes.
I'll say one of my favorites of theirs. I really like the Rants on Halloween one because I shared a lot of opinions with Danielle on that.
Right.
I really liked that episode.
Yeah, and sometimes
and
you just right. And sometimes you just hear like they go on tangents and they're just really funny in general. Sometimes you'll hear Emily's like crazy stories.
Oh yeah,
but,
very very crazy. Quite a character.
So what are you losing?
I thought you were gonna forget to ask me. I was hoping you would forget. I would no, not really. I think it might be easy for me.
No
I think it's easy. I'm gonna lose Avatar, Fast and Furious, and 007.
It's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I know.
When I was looking at keeping, I was like, oh, I think like MCU and
great because this is my next question.
Really went across.
What 3 are you keeping?
I'll be honest. I literally was like the most expansive ones: Star Wars, MCU, DC. But if I were to keep one comic book, it'd probably
Is
be MCU.
DC that expansive though? We'll talk about it later on in the show.
Right. If you could only hold me, like, if I could choose between MCU and DC, I'd probably do MCU, Star Wars, and I want to say I don't think Indiana Jones, because I think like the character dies in Harrison Ford. So maybe Harry Potter. Probably Harry Potter. I'd probably keep Harry Potter.
I think as much as I love Lord of the Rings, as much as I love Indiana Jones, as much as I love Back to the Future, and as much as I love Jurassic Park, I would have to go with those same three. I mean, how do you look at... Oh, yeah, sorry?
Daniel, this is just movies, by the way. No comics or books.
Yeah, like movies and TV show, like the filmed universes of these is what I interpret it as. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, if you look on there, what are the most expansive? And I mean, yes, 007 maybe has more movies, but it changes. Some of the continuity is different. We're talking about like universes that are the same continuing flowing story. Yeah, you can't look at anything on this list except for Star Wars, Marvel, and Harry Potter. Like those are clearly they have the most things currently in development. They have the most things to watch already. They have the biggest fan bases of those. And I mean, you're talking to a guy who I belong to literally almost every fandom on here except for the three that I would get rid of. 007 notwithstanding, because I love James Bond a lot. It's just at a certain point you got to make a cut somewhere. But yeah, I think honestly for this list, I do think keeping the three are kind of the easier one, because it's like you're losing so much content if you get rid of either one of those three. But that being said, DC might not be one universe with all their stuff, but if you get rid of that, you're getting rid of the entire Dark Knight trilogy, you're getting rid of every Batman movie, every Superman movie, all the CW shows are gone, like that kind of... So that could be a convincing factor for some people, but let us know. What do you guys think? What would you keep? What three would you keep? What three would you get rid of? Let us know in the comments down below and in the live chat. So next up, I just want to give a little bit of a birthday shout out, a little PFN birthday shout out to the man who never ages, Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd, it is his birthday today, and we found out the secret of why he never ages with his good pal Mark Ruffalo taking to Instagram and sharing a nice picture of him wearing the Iron Infinity Gauntlet from Endgame, saying, "Happy birthday, Paul Rudd! Did I just find your secret of immortality?"
Yeah. It was RDJ's birthday like a few days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I watched a TikTok that said MCU stars with birthdays in April. Half of the MCU's birthday is the first week in April.
Oh, wow.
Literally, it was like 10 people from April 2nd to April 6th. And then it was like somebody else was April 29th. And I was like, this past week, it was Clark Gregg's birthday. It was Kobe Smolder's birthday. It was RDJ's birthday, Michael Rooker's birthday, Paul Rudd's birthday. And then even, I think, a few other people, too. I think, like, Lee Pace, maybe? Or I might be getting that wrong, but those ones for sure that I named. And then, like, even more than that. I was like, Jesus, this first week in April literally gave birth to, like, half the MCU. I was trying to think in my head. I was like, gosh, with all those people, I wonder if they ever just had, like, a humongous April birthday if, like, Endgame or Infinity War were filming during April. I'm sure they probably did.
Right.
But that's got to be crazy. You got to get like 15 cakes just for one freaking movie. All right, so let's see. We have a couple of just small, kind of news bits here and there. Some cool box office stuff. I will say I'm working right now on how I want to bring box office to this channel. Honestly, it might be on this show. It might be its own video. I don't know. Maybe we do, please don't copyright me because I'm just using this as an example, Dan. Maybe it's like, Charts with Sean. You know what I mean? It won't be called that, but, I've always been a huge box office nerd, and I've wanted to bring that in some way to this channel. It used to be this show that you're watching right now was our really only outlet. Now it's kind of, this show is kind of the part of the week where you get to kind of chill out with us, talk movies, talk, the industry, talk really whatever.
Right.
In addition to our other content, which is, great that we're growing and we are finding, a bit of an audience. It's really, really great. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, box office.
Yeah.
So the box office is starting to show life, is what I was saying.
Right.
So I am personally working on how I want to bring box office to this channel. But Godzilla vs. Kong is working on how they want to bring money to the box office, and they brought it in the truckload. Yeah, they backed that Brinks truck right up to Mr. Warner and Mr. Brothers. So Godzilla vs. Kong debuted. Now, granted, this is an extended holiday weekend. So this is Wednesday to Sunday. So keep that in mind. But still, only 5 days. We're only talking about 5 days here. Brought in a massive $48.5 million at the U.S. box office, which is by far the largest opening since the start of the pandemic. The previous largest opening was Tom and Jerry, which was $14 million. So this is $34 million more. Also, I might add, by the way, let me just scroll down to it. 3.6 million U.S. households streamed it on HBO Max. 3.6 million U.S. households. You know how many households are in the U.S.? Only probably 80 million? 3.6 million households. That is so many people. Because you think a household is what? 3 or 4 people maybe? We'll talk about that in a little bit too. How many people are watching streaming services? We will talk about that big time. But these are astronomical numbers for being in the middle of a global pandemic. To kind of put it in perspective for you guys, Godzilla versus Kong raked in $48.5 million. That is more money in 5 days than the entire domestic lifetime run of Wonder Woman 1984. That Wonder Woman 1984 was out for months. It played for months. We just got rid of it a few weeks back at the theater that I work at. And this movie beat that entire movie handedly, by the way. It was not close. It was by millions of dollars in 5 days compared to months of release for Wonder Woman. And also, to kind of put it into a little bit other perspective, their opening weekend trailed right behind Tenet's entire gross, which Tenet made $57 million. But that was over the course of about 5 to 6 months. So Tenet was in theaters for a very, very long time. Still in some locations, it's in theaters. So that one's a little bit more of an exception. But the more impressive number to me is the fact that it wiped Wonder Woman her entire box office run. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. And it shows me two things. It shows me the audience for these movies is still there. The audience for these movies, both coexisting, that a movie like this can coexist in theaters and on streaming services. Absolutely. Both things, I'm sure, were majorly profitable for Warner Brothers.
Yeah. That news really is showing this model out. It's like, hey, we can do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say this.
With maybe not every movie, but the big movies at least.
The big movies, the day and date model, it's proving time and time again that for the studios at least, and guess what? I'm sorry to tell you, I work in the theater industry. The studios care about the money that the studios make. At the end of the day, they don't give a crap about the deals they have cut with the theater industry. There's no, we want to respect the industry and lift everybody up. No, they want to, if HBO Max is the profitable model, bye-bye theaters completely. They don't need, that's what the theater industry, I feel like, is not coming to grips with fast enough, is you need them, they don't need you. You know what I mean? That's not the model that it is anymore. And a lot of people are saying, well, it doesn't even make sense. How are streaming services even making that much money? How does it work? And the thing is, right now, the way that the laws are set up, they don't release that information to us on how it is profitable to them. But we know with the Disney Investors Day and stuff that the ad revenue that Disney Plus makes is through the roof. That Bob Chapek said, we can almost make as much money on Disney Plus as we do in the theater for depending on the title. So however they're making their money, they're clearly making it.
Right.
And that's the, the thing to pay attention to, because that's going to be something that's not going to go away anytime soon.
Speaking of streaming services, I actually I had a free trial today to a streaming service I said I won't get, which is Paramount Plus.
You check out
the
Picard?
only reason I did it, I have Picard, yeah, currently. I'm not gonna watch it, but
wow,
bro, I don't know anything about Star Trek.
Okay, watch
Dude,
Star Trek Discovery.
Remember when I said to you, I go, so are William Shatner and Patrick Stewart's characters the same person? Do you remember when I asked you that? But no, they had like these. They had some soccer games on that I wanted to watch that they weren't broadcasting on YouTube TV. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll get a free trial of Paramount Plus then. So I have a 7-day free trial. So
nice. Just watch the first episode of Discovery. It's the newest show. Well, Picard's technically the newest show, but Discovery is the brand new. Like you can just enter it with no knowledge, that kind of thing. Give that a shot.
What about that Jack Quaid show? That animated show. Is that any good?
Below
Deck, I think it's called.
Lower Decks or whatever. Below Deck, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yes, that's supposed to be very, very good. I haven't watched it yet, only because I've been watching so much other things. I've kind of been slipping behind on my Paramount Plus stuff that I've had to watch. But I haven't watched it yet, but by all accounts, people love it. Robert Meyer Burnett, check out his channel, Robservations. He's a big Star Trek guy. He's not the biggest fan of Discovery and that vibe and stuff, but he's a big fan of the Lower Deck show. Because it's just kind of like a cool, just Star Trek, kind of a little, more adult, just a little more carefree.
Right.
It looks good. I mean, I like the trailers and stuff. I just haven't gotten a chance to check it out. But I love Jack Quaid, obviously The Boys, everything he does. So yeah, awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, we got some more record-breaking numbers from the Suicide Squad Red Band trailer. It broke the record for the most views in a week with 150 million plus, which broke the previous record was held by Mortal Kombat, which just came out right before it, but it was 116 million views. So it beat it by a lot. It beat it by like 34 million views, which is, a pretty good output.
Right.
Very good trailer. You could go on the channel right now and watch the reaction for both of those trailers. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Damn.
TJ,
we just love plugging ourselves today.
Oh, absolutely. TJ, do you like the holiday of Easter?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
You do?
Yeah, I guess. Why?
Do you love it enough to brave the movie theaters in 2023 for the hit family comedy film by the producers of the Mauritanian called Peeps the Movie?
Bruh, I heard about this. Oh my God.
The film will follow a misfit group of peeps on a cross-country brave adventure to attend Peeps Fest.
Fuck off with this. Like,
all right, next story up.
Bruh. Like,
bro,
God, that's like bottom of the barrel. Like,
yeah.
Like, they were talking about it today on SCN Live when I was watching, and they brought up a good point. It's like, imagine like you're at home like working, like you're like trying to like screenwrite, you're trying to make this like a career, and you're in Hollywood, you haven't really got any scripts out there, semi new. You're trying to get all these characters together. You're trying to make them all connect and trying to develop good characters and everything. And you hear that the in development is a Peeps movie. Now, isn't that just the biggest slap in the face to small screenwriters and directors and producers everywhere? It's like, if you come up with anything, like if I went to Hollywood and tried to pitch a Kit Kat movie, do you think it's possible? Caleb Richardson, he says Paramount Plus is actually a good deal. Get local CBS station live, all the Star Trek shows, and a few movies, a few original shows that are worth the watch in CBS and Paramount Movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll probably end up keeping it, if we're being honest. Like, it was actually pretty cheap. I didn't realize there was a commercial free version and no commercials. or sorry, with commercials, not with commercials.
Yeah.
I got with commercials, so
Oof.
we'll see. I
Yeah.
mean, is it as bad as Hulu? Hulu is like boom, 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 like commercial,
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah,
So
if you
as
want to
long as
hear
not
us
as bad
talk
as
more
Hulu.
about this, you can always tune into our episode of Rants on Fire, where we talk about our love or our non-love, I should say, of the grotesque amount of advertisements on
Right.
streaming services when you don't pay for the commercial-free
Right.
level. That we'll promise. That's the last plug for a little bit.
Right.
Rants on Fire. Check it out.
But yeah, as I was saying with Peeps movie, yeah, this is ridiculous. This is like the Emoji Movie all over again. I don't know about you. How
You weren't
feel?
a
I'm
fan of the
assuming
Emoji Movie?
It's obviously a kids movie. I haven't seen the Emoji Movie. Why would I need to see
It was the best movie of all time.
Oh yeah. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Peeps movie?
I think it needs to be set on fire and put in the bottom of the ocean, never ever to be seen ever again.
Yeah. Now, actually, this brings up a good point. Are you a Peeps guy? Do you
No,
like
I
Peeps?
am not.
And if you're in the chat, please sound off if you like Peeps or not.
Yeah.
I
No.
liked
Please
Peeps when I
specifically
was-
tell us if you're a Peeps guy.
or girl or gal. I liked them when I was a kid,
Really?
but not now.
Man, see, I
don't even know if
never.
I liked them though. Like I feel like they were something that you got for Easter and you ate them because maybe you don't want to make the person feel bad or something like that.
Oh, I'll say this. Maybe not a surprise to you or maybe people watching, but thank you to my mother, I now have 2 Peep Funko Pops in my collection.
Wow.
I have
There you
two.
go.
They're actually a little bit more valuable than the regular Peeps because they are a yellow and a pink Peeps bunny. So, yeah, very very good. I'm a Peeps gal, but I didn't get any this year, unfortunately. Well, I'm sure it's not too late. I mean, Wait, has Easter already happened?
Yeah, bro. Are you serious? It was this past Sunday.
Listen, man, I work every day. I don't know what. I literally was just looking at the calendar and I was like, is it the 12th this year? I was like, I don't know.
My mom actually gave me and Danielle baskets, and there were no Peeps in either. So
not even Peep Funko Pops.
Nope. Nothing.
All right, listen, Joyce.
2 gift cards though.
Joyce, listen. If you want Danielle to love you forever, be a big part of the family, get the woman Peeps. There you go.
I'll text my mom and be like, you have to listen to the episode this week and skip to about the 30-minute mark and just listen from there.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we're going to talk about this thing. We're going to talk about this. TJ.
What?
Are you ever, at home, either in bed or on the couch or whatever, maybe you and Danielle settling in, we're going to watch something real nice, maybe Netflix, pull up the old Hulu, maybe a little Kitchen Nightmares action. You want to see Gordon yelling at somebody.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you ever think that maybe while you're watching your favorite show is watching you?
I never thought that, but I knew every other device in my apartment
is listening at least.
In my hand was looking at me. Listening, yes.
Well, let me tell you. So this is not a streaming service. This is a streaming box. So think like a Roku, right? So Roku isn't. They have the Roku channel, but yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Roku, Fire Stick, the actual device we're talking about here. So this is making the rounds that executives from Warner Brothers, Sony, Paramount, Vizio, CBS, and Universal have teamed up to bring you along with I'm sorry, where is it? Oh man, I really don't even want to pronounce the name of that company.
Okay.
Sihan Fuat Atkin.
Nice.
Sure. Though the executives from those studios have teamed up with the founder and CEO of that company to launch the Venue streaming box. So what sets this apart is basically the Venue will scan. It has a camera on it, as an infrared sensor, and it has a camera on the front that will promise not to invade privacy, but will also at the same time take a constant video throughout the entire duration of the media that you are consuming. I should say the premium VOD content that you are consuming, and will charge you per head. So if you have 5 people in the room, it will say your amount for this movie is this. So this is something that, you know, people have said Disney Plus Premier Access, you know, a lot of PVOD stuff. Like, how are they going to really make money? Because you could invite 20 people. Let's say it's not COVID. Let's say you don't have to social distance. Or let's just say it's a few months down the road. You have 20 people, 20 of your closest friends. You're all vaccinated, you know, that kind of thing. You all feel safe hanging out together. And you bring them over to watch Black Widow on July 9th. Guess what? You're paying $30 for all 20 of those people. Not in Venues World. Not in Venues World. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is like a ridiculous invasion of privacy slash, you know, just a bad move altogether that's going to die out? Or do you think that this could be where the future is going?
Now, so like you said, like everything is always watching or listening to. Like your phone is definitely, I don't know about watching you, but listening to it is always listening. Like if you haven't experienced, like maybe if you don't have social media, I mean, even on like Google or something, I guess, where there's ads and you click on something and you were literally talking, it's that thing where you're talking about it 5 seconds ago and then it pops up. So my question for this is, like, I want to know exactly how this works. So, like, if I were to put, like you said, it counts everybody in the room, right? So if I were to put, like, even before I tried to purchase a movie, would it say, like, if I stood off to the side and tried to buy it, would it say, like, there's nobody in the room to buy this for, so you can't watch it? Like, would it stop me from playing the movie if it couldn't see me, do you think?
Also, like, how does it work if you pay for the movie on your phone, but then you later go and watch it on your TV? You know what I mean?
Right. Now, another thing, like, could you, in theory, could you set up... Now, I don't know maybe how wide the camera is and maybe how big your living room is or whatever, but could you, in theory, get a dummy and set it in front of the camera so it's one person, but you have like a whole family just out of view of the camera, but the dummy's still in view, and you just watch it that way?
Yeah, like how do they track that the camera is actually pointed at the sitting area?
Right.
Like you could have 10 people on a couch, and if it's just pointed at the last person, you know what I mean? Like that kind of, I don't know.
That would be like my question on what is the field of view of the camera. But yeah, this stuff is so creepy. Like, I wonder how much like something like this would even cost. Like you'd have to buy it. You know what I mean? Like you'd have to willingly go out and purchase this. Now I could see them if they wanted to do like a whole. Now this might sound crazy, but if they wanted to keep doing this whole, you know, day and date thing where it goes out to rent at the same time, and you're paying for tickets virtually, like at a theater, but you're at home, would they do a thing where they would put movies exclusively on this device and you have to have one to watch it at home? Do you think that's a thing they would do?
I think maybe. I mean, if the technology proves itself and if it's like a crazy hit and stuff like that, and and it sounds, because right now, you know, obviously it sounds great, you know, they're like, oh my God, we could make so much more money, but it's we just named 20 ways to get around it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, unless they put like a Predator in your house with like a heat sensor, like they can read your body temp. I don't know. know. I mean, I have no idea, but
like I won't get one, obviously, ever. Like at this point, if you were to force the movie on there and force people to buy this, you'd just be forcing people to go to the theater. Because honestly, people would probably be like, I'd rather go to the theater than you know, have this thing staring at me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like they're getting their money either way, basically. But I don't know. This is something. Yeah, this cutting edge platform. Yeah, shut up. It's like shut your mouth. Oh
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I will not be buying one when it comes out, and I don't expect anybody really to be buying it.
Well, speaking of when it comes out, let's see if this thing ever will come out.
Yeah.
All of us at TT Games are working hard to make Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga the biggest and best ever Lego game. but we're going to need more time to do it. We won't be able to make our intended spring release date, but we will provide updated launch timing as soon as possible. So this is once again, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga has been delayed, and once again, we are seeing a huge tentpole video game title get delayed, either because of this pandemic or something else is going on. But let's talk about this, because this is now getting to a point where we are seeing this constantly from every developer, every game studio. They're all having these. I mean, obviously CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk was clearly the biggest example of all of this happening. I mean, that game took years to come out, but then more definitively, when it was ready to come out, it kept getting pushed back a couple months because they kept finding more and more bugs with it.
Yeah, then it launched and it was garbage.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was pulled, and now they still haven't even officially relaunched it yet, have they?
It's like you can buy it like on Steam and Xbox, but on the PlayStation Store, you still can't buy it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is something that everyone's just so far behind, they're just trying to get caught up? Or do you think this is going to show kind of a trend that maybe they need to start marketing these games a little bit later on in development than they have been? Because, I mean, you get something like a Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, that was beginning to be marketed, I mean, almost right after or a little bit before Rise of Skywalker came out. I mean, that's 2 years. So, like, oh my gosh, wow, that's rough to think about, that it's been like almost 20 months since then.
Yeah, like, I'm of the mindset of like, oh, by the way, we know this is a movie show. We're talking games right here. Just indulge us for like,
entertainment,
minutes, please. Probably, well, if maybe one day we'll watch Planet Games. You never know. I'm of the mindset of do not release a game until it is ready to launch. There's been so many games that
any info on a game until it's ready to launch.
Right. I get why you have to build hype, you have to advertise, but yeah, I think it's just a product of like pandemic, affecting the development of a game, considering, developers have moved home. And if I have one gripe of like anything working from home, it's everything is definitely slower than when you're not physically, local to a server you're working off of or something like that. Like everything is slower. So
absolutely,
stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, we both, every time this game like gets pushed back, we both like send each other like the screenshot and like, gotta wait again. If you ever played like Lego Complete Saga, Star Wars Complete Saga, that's a great game. And then this is like cherry on top with like all 9 movies. Does it have Solo Rogue One too or no?
Apparently it is supposed to be Saga. Yeah, it's the Skywalker Saga, but apparently Solo and Rogue One are currently being worked on as expanded DLC content. Yeah, DLC. Okay. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm very excited for the game. Every time again I see it gets pushed back, I get a little sad inside. But at the same time, I know there are definitely other games that like I have that I want to be playing. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I just started again. And like over the weekend, I was like, I'm gonna get through a lot of it, and I ended up watching like 5 movies. I was like, well,
sometimes you
gotta push this off another weekend. But like you just finished like Spider-Man, like and Lego Star Wars games or Lego games in general are definitely just like fun games, like give you a little nostalgia, but also like you can play with your friends and everything. But yeah, when this game is ready to come out, I'll definitely be ready for it.
Yeah, same. I obviously I want all these games. I'm excited for all of these games. I just wish that they would. It's the same thing I've said about movies, in the past.
Right.
I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you remember, obviously. Like Force Awakens time, Jurassic World time. Trailers were coming out 20, 18, 16, 14 months ahead of the release of the movie. The first trailer for the Chewie We're Home, the famous Chewie We're Home trailer, came out a year and some before The Force Awakens. Now we've kind of gotten back to the place where you really get a trailer for a movie and then they're like, at most, it's 5 months out. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, COVID has some exceptions to that because, movies keep getting pushed. But something like a Suicide Squad, right? That ain't moving off of August 6th. No way, no how. That ain't moving. So we just got that trailer, and they were like, "Yep, boom, it's 4 months, and you'll have it." That kind of thing. Right. I love that. We need to start doing the same thing with video games, because I understand that they need to build the hype machine. They need to build the anticipation, everything. I totally understand that. I'm part of that. I love gearing up for a game. I love the launch. Preferably I'd have the console to buy it on, so I could play it right away. But now I have that console, so now everything in the future should be okay. But but really, I love the anticipation with stuff like that, but I don't want the anticipation to get these studios to a place where they are having to say, we want to get it to you, but it's not quite there yet. Yeah. It's like the game should be like 95% done being made, then start the hype train. Because the problem is these companies are starting the hype train when these games are 50% done. And then guess what happens? The rest of the 50% takes a year and a half. Then they can enter the development and bug fixing and all that stuff, which takes another half year. So by the time you're where the peak of the hype is, they're still fixing bugs, and that's where we get tweets like this that say, we want to bring it to you, but it just needs a little more time. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, guess what? If you had revealed the first trailer less than a year ago, people would be like, oh my God, it's going to be soon. The end of 2021, it's not even that far away anymore. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But at the same time, it's also, I could see it as, hindsight's 2020. So, with the pandemic and other things like that, I understand it affects that. But, yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it. I just think pump the brakes a little bit on how early you are starting the hype train and the marketing for some of these. And I think you won't have to push it as far if you start with a later release date to begin with. So, yeah, that's what I think. Now, let's go ahead and get into kind of the main topic. It is, I know we say it all the time, but it is going to be a bit of a shorter show, but it really will be, because we're already on the main final topic for the episode. But it will be a pretty good final topic that I'm sure we both have a lot to say on. And I'd hope everybody in chat also has some stuff to say on it. So let us know, be a part of the conversation. I know we kind of went off the rails on video games for a couple minutes, but we just wanted to speak about that as well. So this is really, I'm going to jump this off the back of Joe Manganiello, who obviously, famous actor and everything like that, played Deathstroke in Justice League and then Zack Snyder's Justice League. He took to Twitter because there is, the growing campaign of restore the Snyderverse. And now there is a little kind of mini movement or smaller movement that is hashtag Deathstroke HBO Max. So that is that apparently there was supposed to be a direct to HBO Max Deathstroke movie to go along with the original planned Ben Affleck Batman movie. So fans are trying to get behind this, and everything that has happened with Zack Snyder's Justice League, with Suicide Squad, the original Suicide Squad, I should say, and everything else, all the other problems led me, and a lot of people, I know it's been a big discussion online this week, but it led me to start thinking, should Warner Brothers, pull a Jack from Titanic, and is it time for them to let go? You know what I mean? Is Warner Brothers, just tying DC down to that door, and they're both going to go down together if they don't cut it free, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that Warner Brothers needs to sell DC or do anything like that. I think it is time for them to have their own autonomy at Warner Brothers. So
you think same way DC should secede from Warner Brothers, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Like Texas seceding from the United States.
Exactly. Just like, obviously the most direct example is Marvel Studios. They are their complete own company, run by Kevin Feige, totally its own insulated thing. And Kevin reports to Bob, and Bob says, good job, Kevin, here's a new hat. You know what I mean? That's how the relationship works. But that's the most direct one, but that's really how all of Disney works. Marvel's a separate studio. Lucasfilm is a separate studio. Pixar is a separate studio. The only thing that is actually a Disney studio is Walt Disney Pictures and Walt Disney Animation. And, a couple other things, like they had Disney Toons for a while, but that kind of imploded on itself and then just kind of came back to Disney Animation. But that's how a lot of things work over at Disney, is that it's kind of these branches, and they all report back to the hub. And, they kind of check in and stuff. And Disney obviously keeps a close eye on it, but they have people, they have Pete Docter at Pixar, Kathy Kennedy at Lucasfilm, and then obviously Kevin Feige at Marvel. And it's a system that clearly for all three of those studios, say what you will about Star Wars over the past couple of years, but it has been profitable as hell, and most of the storytelling has been incredible and everything like that. I know they've faltered a little bit on some creative and behind the scenes decisions, but that is one example in the multitude of great things going on at Disney right now. And it works pretty well. So that is my pitch. What do you think? Do you think that it should be, or do you think that it's something that Warner Brothers just kind of needs to go in, get one hand back on the steering wheel? Maybe DC is too out there. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? And what are your thoughts in chat as well?
The way DC operates now, so Warner Brothers is making the decisions, is you're saying, correct? Whereas Marvel is like,
so think of it like
their own.
Like Warner Brothers views a DC movie like Disney views a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Like that's their movie.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And then they just put DC at the front of it. DC is not a production company, it's just a label.
Right. Yeah, I think, see, like, it's hard because, like, recently they've been, like, better. Like, we had Joker, we had Shazam, we had, I can't speak to Aquaman because I haven't seen it, but I've heard that was better.
Definitely better.
And then, of course, and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1, not so much the second one, but...
Birds of Prey as well, right here.
Better,
though, than the first Suicide Squad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that could work. Again, like, I think I'm, like, at the point, like, where I don't want them to follow or try to do the whole, like, Marvel Universe type thing anymore. Like, I do like them now more as, like, a single, multiple different universes. We have the Batman over here. We have the Joker universe. We have Black Adam and Shazam. We have, all that other kind of stuff. Like, I do like that. And there's things like they definitely like they are very good at stuff like that. And again, animation we spoke about, or in our reaction video, which actually goes up after this, to the what is it? Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween Part 1.
The Part 1, like that stuff. They consistently knock animation out of the park, in my opinion. And that is definitely like their bread and butter sometimes, as opposed to live action. So I think like maybe like it might help, but at the like, yeah, like I don't know, like you'd have to find like somebody who can. I don't know. It's just all about the creative decisions. Like I get like the whole Warner Brothers executive thing. It's like, make this, make this and that. Like I feel like they need to give more power to the directors instead of having the executives looming over it saying, well, the audience won't like this. It's like most of the time, like we're being honest, they honestly like I don't know what I'm talking about, but most of the time they don't know what they're talking about. I feel like I get they know like what makes money, but like it also has to be a mixture of good and making money, I feel like. Especially to get people to come back. Like if you think like if DC was like its own thing, like do you think there'd be more talk of like do you think there'd be a bigger opening to seeing like a Snyderverse return or no?
I don't know if it would help reinstate the current stuff, if you will, but I think it would massively cut down on the even remote possibility of anything like that ever happening in the future. I mean, another thing that we need to talk about too is I don't believe we talked about it on the last show. I think maybe it broke last Wednesday, but the Ava DuVernay and Tom King led project New Gods has been
Forgot about
canceled at Warner Brothers. The James Wan Aquaman spinoff, The Trench, has been canceled at Warner Brothers. So that's where people are really, getting worried, is because we are seeing these cool concepts that never get past being cool concepts.
Right.
The Green Lantern Corps is also another great example. The Green Lantern Corps was supposed to I think, come out last summer. Also, a couple days ago was supposed to be the 1-year anniversary of Ray Fisher's first solo cyborg film.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a couple days ago was supposed to be the 1-year anniversary. That was supposed to come out in 2020.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane the amount of projects that they cancel and that never see the light of day. And that kind of thing, you look at Marvel Studios. How many times does that happen at Marvel Studios? One time. One time. And that is the Inhumans movie, which was on the big screen. Kevin Feige said, and we're bringing the Inhumans back to Marvel. It's going to be, because we can't have mutants, because that's never going to happen, right? At the time, that's what everybody thought. We can't have mutants, so we're bringing the Inhumans back. They're back. We're going to do a huge comic book push. The Inhumans are going to be at the forefront of everything. It's going to be great. And what happens? The Vin Diesel deal goes south. He doesn't get Black Bolt. The movie kind of falls apart. Then all of a sudden, it's not a movie. A couple years later, it shows up as a 6-piece of garbage on ABC. And then it just kind of fizzles out.
It's only 6 episodes?
Yeah. 6 or 8.
I didn't even know that.
It was supposed to be more.
Oh.
But that's the only time it's ever happened. Since how many years has it been? 15 years since they first started planning Iron Man. In 15 years of announcing content, only one thing has not come to happen. DC, we are getting multiple things, every month, every year announced, new stuff, and then nope, it's not happening. You know what I mean? Think about, and then also even stuff that comes down to, and I know this is less to do with Warner Brothers Pictures, but even stuff like the television series, right? You have DC television series. Some of them are at CW. Some of them are on HBO Max. But if DC was its own autonomous thing and could develop these things by themselves, they could say, hey, we got this great kid, Stephen Amell. He's a fresh guy, right out of Canada. He's like, oh, hey, I could shoot a bow and arrow, hey. Like, let's give it a proper budget. Let's make it an HBO Max Green Arrow show, like gritty, real character study thing. What happens instead? Warner Brothers goes, oh, we should do more DC stuff on the CW because people really like that Smallville. So now they have all these characters on the CW, and it's like, I love those shows, but in a certain way, they feel so restrictive. One of my favorite scenes of any of those shows is the scene that takes place in the Snyderverse with Grant Gustin crossing over with Ezra Miller's Flash. That's one of the best scenes in any of those shows. And why? Because all of a sudden the aspect ratio changed, the lighting changed, and I was watching Grant Gustin's Flash be in a movie grade shot, and I was like, holy shit, that looks amazing. Like, why is that? And granted, yes, I have not checked it out yet, but I know that's what Superman and Lois is doing, that it's got, film grade aspect ratio and lighting and cinematography. And so they are making improvements. Like we've said, DC is definitely on the upswing. All in all, by and large, DC is on the upswing, 100%. But that being said, maybe this kind of a reconsolidation of everything can never put them on the back foot. You know what I mean? They never have to be on the upswing ever again, because they might just be on top, or at least, level with Marvel. I mean, that's what I think. What do you think? How would you fix the whole DC situation?
In all honesty, I don't know how, I wonder how long their contract with the CW is. like what that licensing.
think
I'm
it's just
assuming they just
indefinite-
license the
indefinite.
characters out and they can just like make shows.
No,
Or they
because
just
Warner
put it-
owns CW.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
a
didn't really know
it's a
who
combination
owns CW.
ownership. Yeah, CW is literally it's a combination ownership by Viacom and Warner Brothers. The C in CW stands for CBS, and the W stands for WB.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's why Supergirl was
I-
on CBS to begin with.
Oh, like I have never seen like any of the like I've never seen Green Arrow. Is that what it is? The Flash,
Arrow, yeah.
Supergirl,
Legends.
Batwoman. You know, all of those. I've never seen those, and like Superman and Lois, is the first CW like DC thing I've checked out, and again, it's good. So I don't really know the pain that everybody else has gone through with. Like I've heard Batwoman is just awful. Like I've never.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, really, the
um,
bright spots are genuinely some of Supergirl. I never got into it, but some of Supergirl, and then really the two main ones is the Flash and Arrow are just like fantastic
DC,
writing and stuff.
What's it called? Something of Tomorrow, Heroes of Tomorrow, or something.
Legends
What's
of
that called?
Tomorrow.
Legend of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the other one. That is just
and of course,
consistently
Smallville,
great.
Danielle brings up. People love Smallville. Can't forget about that.
Smallville, yeah, it was great, but it's just it's from like a different time. You know what I mean? It's just the writing, and that's nothing against it. It's just the writing staff they had to work with, the money they had to work with. It was shoestring, like shoestring. And I mean, you even look at the first season of Arrow. That's all down gritty. There's no magic. There's nothing. I mean, then you go to season 3. It's slight spoilers for Arrow. You have a freaking like cinematic bout with Oliver and Ra's al Ghul fighting on a mountaintop with like death swords and everything that happens with that arc, which I won't spoil in this. But you look at the difference, like just from the first season of Arrow onward, because the first season of Arrow I think came out the year after Smallville ended, or maybe the year that it was ending. But yeah, even that though, it's like, all right, we're kind of living in this. These characters deserve a more premium format, and I think that that's something that HBO Max can offer, and it's also
I just wish they would like consolidate everything onto HBO Max, because like something that like lives like very, I feel like I haven't watched it, but I want to start it at some point. That lives very
independent,
under the radar, is like the Harley Quinn animated show, which I've heard is great.
Yeah.
And I feel like probably nobody, like maybe like people know of it, but nobody like checks it out or anything, because I feel like it's just, then again, it's like the whole thing of like there's so much content on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of content on every streaming service, but like HBO Max has like, everything. Like they have so many different IPs.
It's got
and
great
stuff like that.
content. Yeah.
Like there's some stuff that is great that gets buried, and all you could say like CW is almost like an outlet for some of these things that maybe would get buried on HBO Max to have like an audience. Because I know they had what was it called, DC Unlimited or something like that.
DC Universe
that they shut down, and then they basically brought everything to HBO.
And the weird thing is when they shut that down, like slight spoilers for the Arrowverse, but I can't even convey to you, TJ, like the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover was literally, like, I know everybody jokes because they call Infinity War and Endgame like the most ambitious crossover event in history or whatever.
Can I watch that without watching anything else or no?
Oh, sure, go for it. I mean, I mean, you'll probably never want to watch Arrow.
Okay.
Because I mean,
it spoils Arrow basically.
Well, I mean, the Stephen Amell's final appearance is in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah. But I mean, that's not a spoiler. That's just literally that's the last time he appeared as Oliver. But so you might be like, well, I mean, if you want to go back and watch it all from the start, you can. But you're kind of going to start at the end. But other than Oliver, but you could still totally go back and start from the beginning, 100%. After watching Crisis, but like you had Knox from Batman '89, like the reporter guy from Batman 1989 is in the crossover.
Okay.
Burt Ward as Robin is in the crossover. Kevin Conroy, live action Batman, is in the crossover. You got Brandon
Right.
Routh fighting Tyler Hoechlin in the same Daily Plaza building or Daily Planet building that the freaking Richard Donner, Christopher Reeves Supermans took place in. Like, that's the same character. Like, you have all this stuff, and then also slight spoilers for Crisis. At the end, you get shots of everything. You get shots in the Snyderverse. You get more Ezra Miller. For Ezra Miller is in the crossover. Like, you get shots of Doom Patrol, Titans, all that kind of stuff. Everything is in this. And it just shows that DC is like, someone at DC is striving to get all this stuff to link up, to be like, even if they have to say it's a multiverse, that's totally fine, because DC has always had a multiverse. They do it way better than Marvel does. No offense. Marvel's great with like alternate parallel universes and like stuff like that, but in terms of, or I mean, like parallel dimensions and like the dark dimension and all the stuff from Doctor Strange, that kind of stuff. But in terms of multiverses, DC has always done it better. They've always had more. Most of their events are all about the multiverse.
Right.
That's kind of their shtick. That's their bread and butter. And I just want whoever is in there knocking on that door of let's just make all this a true multiverse. That person needs to just jut right to the top and be in charge of everything, because you can have all of the, like TJ said, you can have all these disconnected universes. You know what I mean? Like Shazam, we don't really know. Is it fully connected? Like, yeah, they fight with Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill action figures in the movie, but that could mean anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my thing. I know that kind of turned into a rant on its own. But
no, it's good. I like the passion. Like you said, Doom Patrol. Like, that's a show I wanna like watch. I don't know when I'll get to it. I know like season 2 is either filming or it's almost coming out or something.
Season 3.
Oh, season 3. Oh,
yeah.
Frick. Okay. Yeah, like currently I'm watching like Superman and Lois. Like I said, you got to get on that. And Batman the animated series, because I watch Batman Beyond. And then I want to check out like Harley Quinn animated, like stuff like that. Like they have like a good what's it called? Variety.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Absolutely.
And I do like, again, I do kind of like how DC has kind of, gone in their own direction. And I get why they're all like, and I get the whole like, there will be no more Snyder movies. Like, we're not doing that whole universe thing. But again, like you say that, like, we're focusing on, our projects. And then you just canceled like 2 new, ambitious, like cool projects that people were excited for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like every time, people get excited about something new and fresh, like you just like cancel it. And it's just really hard for people to get behind that, especially like I know like people talking about the optics of it. It's like, it's not even like coming up because Ava DuVernay is like arrived, definitely.
Yeah.
But like a strong like
a hot talent right now, like
hot talent, like, and then James Wan, obviously, he's done stuff with like the Conjuring universe and stuff like that. He did Aquaman, and then he had this whole new like idea to do a spinoff, and you're just like, no,
yeah.
But then again, you have like James Gunn, like the whole Peacemaker thing, like that's cool, and his Suicide Squad movie, I'm assuming.
Yeah, like I want more of that. Like I want more of that. Like I want more of the like crossover, like spin a character out into their own show for every movie. I mean, hell, like I would love that. Like if we get, Black Adam, give Pierce Brosnan a 4-part mini Doctor Fate series. Yeah. Like, come on. Give us something real cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a million different ways you could take it, but I think
like, okay, can we actually just talk about real quick the whole oh my god, the excuse that they gave for the New Gods thing? That was just complete BS. That
blaming it on the Snyderverse. Like what? Like
yeah.
So you can tell the excuse.
Yeah, basically, if you don't know, like they canceled last week. They canceled Ava DuVernay's New Gods, and they canceled James Wan's The Trench, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the reasoning, I guess there was like an interview. Was it the CEO or somebody else? or was it even?
I think it was the
I mean, it
CEO.
might have been just a quote or something. But basically, like they said that they canceled. One of the reasons they gave for canceling New Gods was that it had Darkseid in the movie, and they didn't want people to be confused with the Darkseid from Zack Snyder's Justice League and this new Darkseid and New Gods. It's the most crock of shit freaking.
And I sent TJ
Dumb reason I've ever seen.
I sent TJ, somebody on Twitter said, "Oh, 2 Darkseids? The audience can't handle that." And then it was just a picture of the 5 current Batmen. You have the Batman from Titans, the Batman from Batwoman, Robert Pattinson, Ben Affleck, and Michael Keaton are all going to appear as Batman on screen next year.
Yeah.
All of them.
It's just one of those things where like DC like does a good thing, they like take a step forward and then take 2 steps back.
Absolutely. And they do
like,
it to themselves. They do it to themselves. But
like,
what I will say, Warner Brothers does it to them.
No, yeah. Yes, that's very true. Yeah.
Because something like that, they'll go, like, I'm sure somebody at DC would go, well, why do we care about 2 Darkseids if we have 6 Batmen running around? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Yeah. And it's like, it's just stupid. Like, and I mean, I feel like the only, like, looking at, like, Marvel, not to compare again, I hate comparing. Like, if you're one of those people, like, if you're watching this and you're one of those people that's like, oh my God, like, geez, DC is so much better. Like, I only love DC. Like, fuck Marvel. It's like, get over yourself. Like,
and
you
vice
can like
versa.
2 things. It's
they're both.
fine.
They're
Yeah,
both.
and vice
yeah.
versa. Marvel people do the same thing. Sorry. But like, I feel like one of the only step backs that like the Marvel has taken, and it wasn't even Marvel. Like you said, it was Disney. Was when they got rid of James Gunn, and then they brought him back. Was like
because they're like,
you
oh
know,
shit,
it was the, you know, and that's kind of getting into a whole nother topic that we're not going to get to. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, just keep moving forward. Like you're definitely right. Like there is somebody in that boardroom that's like, you know, like I think like it'd be a cool idea, like, you know, if we like, you know, maybe didn't connect these, like, you know, Matt Reeves can have his own trilogy and, you know, stuff like that. Like, oh, maybe we, you know, 2 Darkseids, you know, I think people are smart enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and we have Michelle in the chat saying, I'm telling you now that if any of the upcoming DC films don't work, etc., it will always be blamed on the Snyder Cut. I'm sure that's going to be true. They're going to say, well, people didn't turn out to see it because it's not the version they wanted.
Right. And I'm all down for like more Snyderverse. Like I wasn't the biggest. I liked his cut. Definitely was better. I liked it. I didn't love it like a lot of people, which I wish I did. I really wanted to. But I'd be so down. Like I've said, Man of Steel 2. I'd be down for that. Cyborg again. I think Ray Fisher. I feel like he's just banned from Warner Brothers a lot at this point. Like that whole thing and that whole. I gotta read that interview.
Yeah, there was even. I read it. There was even more this week. Like, it's just honestly, it's to the point where it's like, I read it and I'm like, I understand. It's just nothing's there. Somehow Warner Brothers just got away with it. Like, I hate to say it, but it's like, there's nothing that's going to change now at this point. The breakup has happened. There's no recovering it. Ray Fisher has given away all the details of his contract about his appearance that was supposed to be in The Flash, you know, everything. Like, that relationship is completely severed. And
then they even like, it's stuff like that they acknowledge, but like, well, they don't acknowledge that. They said they did an investigation. But people are still, actually, it's probably died down a little bit, but people are still clamoring for them to say something about Ezra Miller, and they just don't. It's like, how do you not acknowledge that video exists? Like, I just don't understand. And again, like you said, it's like they're basically getting away with it. Like, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I hope that they continue to produce good content, and, you know, maybe one day we'll get a Man of Steel 2 and maybe a little bit more Zack Snyder, you know, but I'm excited for, what I will say is I'm excited for Black Adam. I am excited for Matt Reeves' Batman. And
there is hope on the horizon.
There is hope on the horizon, but
there is.
Just don't take 2 steps back when you take a step forward.
Like Jesse Pinkman said, you know, he can't keep getting away with it. At some point, the other shoe is going to drop, and they're going to have to do something. because
Yeah.
things have unraveled before. They're okay right now. They're on the upswing, but they're still stumbling. You know what I mean? They are still stumbling to really hit it out of the park. Like, really, like you said, it's one step forward, 2 steps, 5 steps back. Like, honestly, like, but anyways, let us know what you thought. Like we said, it is going to be a little bit of a shorter show. Let us know what you guys thought. Do you think that DC needs to be its own film studio entity? Do you think that something like that is going to be, helpful? Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below and in the live chat as we're wrapping up here. So yeah, again, we would just want to say from the bottom of our hearts, honestly, thank you guys so much for the growth that we've seen on the channel. Make sure that you constantly, keep commenting, liking, viewing, honestly, even just viewing, and make sure you subscribe. We are 10 away. Are we still 10? Did we lose a couple? Okay.
Yeah, last Planet Hero was, oh my god, it was like a heartbreaker almost.
It was rough.
We had so much growth that day, and then we lost 3, and I was like,
yeah. Yeah, guys, we are 10 away. It took us a year to get to 50, almost a year to get to 50, and now within a couple weeks, we've almost doubled in growth. We are seeing a little, not exponential, but pretty damn close to it, and we are so glad. From the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate it. Keep it coming. If you guys keep the love coming, we will keep the content coming. We're trying to build a positive community here in the movie space. So again, let us know what you guys thought about everything that we discussed today. Thank you for joining us on Planet Film. I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk, at Paste Eating Yak, and on at Paste Eating Yak on Twitter and Instagram is where you can follow me personally. And you can follow the network at Planet Film Net on Twitter and Instagram.
And I am your other host, TJ Cornwell. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ_Cornwell. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. We haven't been talking about this much, but subscribe to the podcast feed and give us a little rating.
Oh, yeah. Rate on iTunes. iTunes, apparently the ratings on iTunes really, really matter. So if you're an Apple guy, if you really like Apple, give us a rate on there.
And then we've also, if you're an audio listener, we're starting this funny, like, stupid gag where every episode of this show will begin with some random Al Pacino quick quote from a movie, which I don't know. This week, you'll have already heard it. So it's going to be Don't Mind If I Do from Jack and Jill. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our long Halloween reaction trailer video that is about to go up, I think, right after we're done going live. Tell us what you thought of, DC and, the streaming stick that might be watching you while you watch movies. And we will catch you.
Oh, check out the merch in the description as well.
The merch. Sorry. In the description. And we'll see you on Saturday, pre-recorded. At 8 p.m. for Falcon Winter Soldier thoughts, and we will see you next time.
From the bottom of our hearts, stay classy, San Diego. We'll catch you in the next one.